The advocacy group Jamaican Canadian Association, JCA, is providing support to Jamaican and Caribbean nationals who are experiencing several issues in having their families join them in Canada. This morning, we're going to hear what those issues are and hopefully sort out some solutions this morning as well. So joining us on Zoom, we have Sadie Ann Thompson-Palmer, Anne-Marie Pasley-Reed, Rachelle Johnson, and they're all international students, and Leighton Henry, who's coordinator of the International Student Group, Jamaican Canadian Association. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning.
So, Leighton, let's start with you, since you're the coordinator. Tell us a little bit about what are the issues that you're experiencing.
Okay, just to give you a quick synopsis of who we are. So, as an advocacy group, we started this group last year, November, with about 16 students. So now we have up to 257 students whose ages range from 20 to 56 years old, and they're all undergraduate and graduate studies persons, and we have actually two persons who are doing their PhD. So we provide them with different workshops to help them to settle in Canada and to provide them with that information. And now we recognize that there were some issues relating to the families, that is the spouses or the husbands and children joining them here in Canada. As a part of the process of being an international student, you are provided with a post-graduation work permit, and so the spouses will need the help to make life in Canada and to make the transition if that is their choice. And
so you're saying once you
share it with us.
I'm sorry, Leighton. I wanted to clarify something before you went further.
Sure.
You're saying that once they pursue that level of education in Canada, they are automatically given the option of receiving a work permit, and that would also include access to their families in Canada. That's what you're saying?
Yes, that is pretty much what is on the website, that once they complete their studies successfully, that they are eligible to receive that post-graduation work permit for the period of which they were studying for. So if they study for 1 year, they'll get a 1 year permit. If they study for 2 years, they might get a 2 to 3 year work permit.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you, but I wanted to hear also from the other members what their experience has been. I'm going to start with Sadie. Morning, Sadie.
Hi, good morning, Delia.
All right, so I read your letter, and in a nutshell, it suggests that your family would have received official allowance.
Yes,
I'll use that term.
they were granted written authorization from the IRCC to join me in Canada. And upon entering or reaching the airport, they were told that they were not allowed to board the flight because their travel is non-essential. Even though in the written authorization letter from the government of Canada, it stated that the family is authorized to join me for the purpose of family reunification.
Right.
And
they're saying they're non-essential because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
Okay.
And the letter grant them exemption from that.
Oh, so along with giving them authorization, it says it's cool during COVID time for them to come through as well.
Yes. Yes.
And I want to clarify that the airport you're saying is here in Jamaica.
Yes, definitely.
All right. And so they got there, and there they tell them you can't go to Canada.
Yes.
All right. Anne-Marie, share your experience with us.
Okay, so I too got approval, and I traveled to Jamaica for my son. When I arrived at the airport, what I ensured that I did, I had all my documents, every possible document that I think they may want, or they may ask me for birth certificate, marriage certificate. I even got a letter from my husband's employer because he's also here with me in Canada. And when I approached the counter, the officer there looked at my documents and said, probably I can't come with you. I said, what do you mean? I have an approval from IRCC. And she said to me, a whole heap of people come here with a letter. And if I go back home, I said, the blood of Jesus. She said, I'll see if that works. I said, I know it will work. And she brought my documents to her supervisor. And her supervisor looked at my documents. By that time, she was saying to me, they have to send to the border to ensure that I have smooth transition when I come to Canada. So the supervisor looked at the documents, and in no time, she gave my documents to another officer and said, and they processed me, and I am now back in Canada. So I don't know, there's some inconsistency somewhere.
Well, it seemed it did work after all, eh?
It did work after all.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that it worked out for you. But and during that
Absolutely.
process, was there some kind of explanation as to why initially they said no, and why then they changed their minds, or they never shared that with you?
No, they didn't share that with me. She only said that they have to send my documents to Canada to
Uh,
make sure that when I reach, there's no problem.
all
That's
right.
all.
All right. Rachelle, you're in Winnipeg. Both Sadie and Anne-Marie, they're in the Ontario side. So tell me what happens now. You're going to Winnipeg. Same coming through here in Jamaica?
Well, no, I didn't come down. I didn't go to Jamaica. I went to Toronto. I had to fly from Winnipeg to Toronto, which is like a 2.5 hour flight,
Right.
to pick up my child, which would have landed in Toronto. While I was there at Pearson, I was actually told that through my family member who took her to the airport, that unfortunately they didn't allow her to board the flight. And when you ask the reason behind it, they're saying, well, it's a non-essential travel. However, just like the other ladies, I too received an approval letter from IRCC for my child to travel, to be with me here, submitted all documentations that would have been required for her to travel, and was also denied. So it is just an unfortunate situation that we need a solution to right about now.
All right. So Leighton, I'm coming back to you now. It
Yep.
seems to me, where is the problem happening? Because if the Canadian authorities have said, yes, you're authorized to go, yes, we are approving the travel, whether you're non-essential or not, why is that not being processed at our airports? Where is it going wrong?
So I'm just as baffled as everybody else is here, because if it is that the Canadian authorities have provided approval for the families to be reunited, what's the issue? And the ladies will further share that they have contacted the authorities, and the authorities have provided them with information to the effect that it is not with them. So,
Right.
I mean, I am just as baffled as everybody else. I really hope that there's a quick resolution to this, because the mental health and stresses and strain on the families here. We're talking about maybe about 25 families that are impacted. And what we have been doing is providing them with, the ability to really express themselves. And we even communicated with the Consular General here in Toronto. So we have an avenue of recourse, which is to provide them with the requisite information, individual information, so that they can investigate.
Right. Okay.
But
So,
if you ask the ladies, they'll tell you what the responses were from the authorities.
well, because in the interest of time, I want you to tell me what has been the responses.
Okay.
I mean, you're in touch with the consular office in Canada. What are they saying in terms of resolving the issue?
We received correspondence from them, which indicated that they need to state their issues and concerns in a letter to them, so that they can do their own investigation into the matter.
So I also want to find out, they would have, Sadie Ann,
Yes,
We have like 30 seconds, but I'm curious. So you paid for the ticket,
everything was paid for.
and
And everything paid for. As a matter of fact, on the 3rd of September, when they went there first, they were turned down. And when I called the CBSA here in Canada, they confirmed everything. They said once you have an authorized letter, which is from the government of Canada, you should have no issues whatsoever in Jamaica.
right.
And obviously, the problem lies at the airport in Jamaica, right? So the representative further asked me to call the airline and to confirm and to find out exactly what was happening, which I did. When I called the representative at the airline, that's Air Canada, and I spoke to the gentleman, he apologized and he said my family should not have been inconvenienced because they were granted approval to board the flight. And he rebooked the ticket free of charge. He did not charge me. He did not charge me the fees to rebook the ticket. And he said, Mrs. Palmer, when do you want your family to come? I said, they should have been here already. And he rebooked the ticket for the 8th of September. On the 8th of September, providing that all these persons that I spoke to, they gave me their contact numbers, their agent numbers, and all of that, and asked that the persons in Jamaica should call them to verify all the information. On the 8th, when my husband and children went to the airport, it was the same thing. They were turned down and told that they are not able to board the flight because it is non-essential.
All right, ladies, and gentlemen. I mean, it sounds to me like this is a little bit beyond the consular issue because the consular offices are saying it's okay, and then the airline is taking their own decision. You may need to get a lawyer because I'm thinking all the money that you guys have spent on travel and all the inconvenience, people respond a little bit better when they're written to by someone from a certain profession. That's all I'm going to say. So sorry for the inconvenience that you all have faced, and I hope that this matter really is going to be resolved, and hopefully, just speaking with us here in Smile Jamaica, someone will see it and will put some action in place so you're back together with your families. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, that's Sadie Ann Thompson Palmer, Anne-Marie Pasley-Reed, Rachelle Johnson, international students, and Leighton Henry, coordinator of the International Student Group, Jamaican Canadian Association.